What is going on, guys? Welcome to Outside the Brand. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for June 26, 2023. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining us right here on your Monday nights, wherever you may be. Guys, Monday Night Raw went off the air. This was the Monday Night Raw this is the Monday Night Raw go home show before Money in the Bank that happens this Saturday on pay-per-view. And, it wasn't as bad as people were going to be making it out to be, considering that Vince apparently had his hands all over Monday Night Raw tonight. It wasn't as bad of a show as people were making it out to be, but for a go-home show to one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, that being Money in the Bank, it definitely did not feel like a go home show should. At least that's my opinion. We had some good Money in the Bank build here tonight when it comes to Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The NXT champion Carmella Hayes was on the show tonight. We got the Intercontinental Championship match officially confirmed for the show. It will be Riddle taking on Gunther for the Intercontinental title. We had Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet go at it. Those two will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match on Saturday. And yeah, guys, I mean, we saw some good enough build for tonight's show. For tonight's show heading into Money in the Bank. But I don't know. It just didn't seem like it should have hit in the way that it should. Now, maybe that's Vince. Maybe it's not, it is what it is at the end of the day. But, we are going to be getting Money in the Bank happening this Saturday. And we're going to be seeing what happens and who wins those Money in the Bank briefcases. So, we're going to talk about everything that happened tonight on Monday Night Raw. And I'll just be breaking it down in the best way I possibly can for you guys as we head to Money in the Bank. Last night, as we all know, it was AEW New Japan's Forbidden Door event. I will be doing a full show review of that tomorrow on Tuesday. I thought, with everything going on Sunday night, it was going to be way, way too hard for any of us that is a part of OTB to honestly be able to get on here and and do a full show review for you guys because it legitimately ended almost at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I thought it would be a good idea to do the post show review for AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door tomorrow on Tuesday, right after NXT. That way, you guys know how we felt about the pay-per-view that was for AEW and New Japan last night. Just a quick thoughts on it, before we get into everything, before we get into like the sponsor segment and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was a phenomenal show. I really did. I thought that, honestly, if you just look at what we have been presented so far within the grand scheme of things of WWE and AEW for the better part of 2023, this is the best pay-per-view of the year. Seriously. With Omega and Ospreay, which definitely in the grand scheme of things should have been the main event of the show, in my opinion, but we'll talk about more of that when we get to the review of AEW and New Japan Forbidden Door tomorrow. Taking a look at the grand scheme of things, Okada and Bryan Danielson absolutely, hit it out of the park in the main event in the dream match that they had. Which was almost about a half hour long, It was a very, very good match. Nobody should even be taking it away from those guys. I already see some hate about what happened during the match, but, if you're legitimately hating on that match, you legitimately have no idea what you were watching that night. Omega and Ospreay, I mean, they just continue to kill it no matter what happens, The show was very good. The show was very good. I thought it was honestly the best pay-per-view of the year so far. And we'll talk about more, and we'll talk about it more in depth when we do the review tomorrow right here on OTB. But yeah, everything about Forbidden Door was absolutely fantastic. We will definitely get into the the nitty gritty when we talk about it all on Tuesday for you guys. So stay tuned for that as we get to talk about Forbidden Door tomorrow, right here on OTB after NXT. But we are going to be talking about everything that happened tonight on Monday Night Raw. So let's get to it. Thank you guys so much for joining us right here on OTB. I love the way that you guys have been supporting the channel as of late. Thank you guys so much for just all the love and support. We love you guys for that, and we couldn't have done this without you. So, before we get into everything on the Monday Night Raw post show tonight, make sure to follow me on social media. I am officially back on some social media in some way, shape, or form. I'm not back on TikTok yet. I won't be back on TikTok for a while. I just know I'm not going to be back on TikTok for a while, but that is a personal choice, and I choose to do that for my own well-being up until this point, and I will be back on TikTok. It's just a matter of when and not if. It's just, I gotta sort some things out before I ever get back on there, and we'll get back there in due time. But that's neither here or there. But you guys can follow me on other social media platforms and even on TikTok if you guys are ever so inclined at @PhillyMatt_. That is Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And you guys can follow me on there. You guys can tweet with me during the show, man. I love talking to you guys on social media during Monday Night Raw, during the live tweets that I do for the show. I just got back into doing that today, so we'll be doing we'll be doing the shows that I honestly want to talk about and give my opinions for live tweeting and everything like that. It's definitely a slippery slope whenever you try to talk your opinions on social media, especially something like Twitter. But at the end of the day, my opinions are my opinions, and if anybody really doesn't like the opinions that I got, oh well. At the end of the day, they're my opinions, and I'm gonna stick by them, just like I always do. And that's something that I think a lot of people honestly should take note of. Stand by your own opinions and never waver, because at the end of the day, whatever you like is what you like. Whatever you don't like is something that you won't like. But at the end of the day, it is your opinions, and you're gonna stick by them. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Thank you to our sponsor of the channel, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an official application on your phone, and you guys can get the best deals using SeatGeek. And the best way that you can get the better deal using SeatGeek is by using the code OTB at checkout, and you'll save $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek. If you want to get the best deal, the green dots on the maps means that it's a good deal. The red dots means that it's a bad deal. You always want to go for the green, and when you do go for the green and you use that code OTB at checkout, by saving $20 off, you're saving money and you're getting the best deal using SeatGeek. So it's a win-win for you, and it's a win-win for us, as you guys are helping out the channel every time you use that code OTB at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. So thank you, SeatGeek, for being a part of the OTB family. We love being a part of yours. It's awesome, and we can't thank you guys enough for supporting us. It's awesome being a part of that family, and it's a great time. Go down into the link in the description for the official affiliate link for WWE Shop as well. It's my personal affiliate link, of course, but anything that I get from you guys purchasing something from WWE Shop, it'll automatically go back to the channel. That way we can continue to produce the best content out for you guys, and just continue to make OTB the best it possibly can be for all the OTB family members out there. So thank you guys for all the love and support when it comes to that. And go support us also in ways of merchandise. Teespring is the official home of OTB and its merchandise, and you guys can go get your official merchandise for Outside the Brand today by using the links in the description below. You guys can also go to my personal link for my merch. That is down there in the description below, and Olaf has his merchandise down there below as well. And yeah, you guys can be supporting both of us individually or by supporting the channel by getting an official OTB shirt, sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever you guys want. It's right there for you. And it's all there right there on Teespring. So there you guys go for that. And yeah, awesome stuff, guys. And we will get into everything on Monday Night Raw tonight. Thank you guys for all the love and support, and we'll get right into the Monday Night Raw post show right here on OTB. All right, we were here in Savannah, Georgia tonight, and I do want to give a special big shout out to Ringsider Anthony. My guy Anthony was at Monday Night Raw tonight. What's going on, Deontay? My good buddy Anthony was at Monday Night Raw tonight, and yeah, he got some very, very good seats. I will say that I saw those seats on social media. He posted them on Twitter, and those are some very good seats. Hell, even Finn Balor ran by him during the segment on Monday Night Raw when he attacked Finn Balor. Finn Balor attacked himself, Phil. Nah, he attacked Seth Rollins, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, when he attacked Seth Rollins, Finn Balor ran by my good buddy Anthony, and it was awesome to see. It was very awesome to see because he did a video of it, and it was just cool. He got great seats, and very lucky that he got to see Finn Balor run by him on his way to attack Seth. That was awesome. But yeah, we were here in Savannah, Georgia tonight. Crowd was awesome throughout the show tonight, which is great to hear. And we saw a video recapping the growing feud between the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Dominik Mysterio. Mysterio called Rhodes a deadbeat dad, and a few weeks ago, and slapped him in the face. Mysterio and Rhodes will battle this Saturday at Money in the Bank, as we all know. The WWE Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, is flanked by Dominik Mysterio tonight, and the crowd cheers Rhea Ripley's name, but viciously boos Dominik Mysterio. Mysterio tries to speak, but the crowd just continues to rain down those loud boos. And Mysterio tries again, but the volume continues to be, cranked higher, and it intensifies the boos. And Mysterio paces around the ring, and Ripley speaks for him, saying, she tried to speak for him, but even she was getting booed at that time. And then Mysterio tried to speak for the third time, but the boos just kept going. It was wild. Just absolutely wild. Ripley then says, without even caring that the fans were booing at this point, that she's got it from here. She says that Cody Rhodes' name, she says Cody Rhodes' name, and the crowd just continues to boo her, which infuriates her, and Ripley says that Rhodes is a loser and has been losing momentum as of late. And I said, as of late? He's been ice cold since WrestleMania. At Money in the Bank, Dom will end him. Cody Rhodes' music hits, and the American Nightmare makes his way to the ring in a suit. And don't forget about that bionic arm, people. He has that bionic arm. And Mysterio goes to the ring apron and stays behind Rhea Ripley, who is left in the ring with Cody Rhodes. A Cody chant breaks out, and Rhodes says that he thinks that he knows what Mysterio was trying to do. It would have been a pretty special moment, so he'll just go ahead and do it now. Rhodes says, Savannah, Georgia, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Mysterio is furious because that was his line. And Ripley says that He can bully her Dom all he wants, but Mysterio is a very dangerous man. Mysterio goes to speak, but the crowd boos again. And whispers in Ripley's ear. She tries to say what Mysterio said, but the crowd loudly booed her, which is very uncharacteristic for the crowd because we all love Mommy. And Ripley says Mysterio will prove how dangerous he is at Money in the Bank. Rose says Mysterio has lobbied a few cheap shots, but were dangerous and effective. Rose tells Mysterio to be who he is and says how he feels. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Rose says that was the Cat in the Hat that said that. That's right, a children's book. Rose is quoting from it because that's what Mysterio is. Mysterio is a scared little boy. Mysterio is upset and he gets off the ring apron. Ripley then joins him and they begin walking off to a sea of boos. Then Rose says that Damian Priest isn't running from him. They're facing for the first time. They're facing off for the first time tonight, and Rose shouts out to Mysterio needs to come back, and he'll even give him a free shot to the face. Mysterio then gets onto the ring apron to look at Cody, but then he jumps down, wags a finger at him, and he goes back up to the ramp with Rhea Ripley. Rose picks up the microphone and says that he sees Dom walking and weaving. These cheap shots have proven to be effective and dangerous, but at Money in the Bank, Dominik Mysterio is stepping into an entirely different body of water. Rose wants to see something from him. Rose wants to know if Dominik is half the man his father is, or if he is just Mommy's little boy. And that was the end of the segment there, which I thought, honestly, not bad. Not bad at all. At the end of the day, we are going to be getting this match between Dominik and Cody. And we all know this is really just a buffer for Cody so that we can get through Money in the Bank in order to get to SummerSlam, where it'll most likely be Brock and Cody one more time. And that'll hopefully be the end of the goddamn feud. This wasn't as egregious as I thought it was going to be. You know, at the end of the day, does this feud really matter for Cody? Not in the slightest. Does this feud mean a lot for somebody like a Dominik Mysterio? Yes, because Cody Rhodes is the second biggest babyface in all of the company. Whether you like what's happening right now between Cody and Dominik or not, you have to admire what they are trying to do when it comes to Dominik Mysterio. Cody Rhodes, I mean, if Cody beats Dom, what does it really do for him? Right? But if Dominik beats Cody at Money in the Bank, that's big. That's big. It's the second biggest babyface in all of the WWE. And arguably, and I say arguably because it really depends on whoever you really want to talk to about this kind of a thing, who's like the biggest heels within the company. Obviously, Roman is, he's up there, but a lot of people think Dominik was right there behind him. If not, I definitely actually hear some kind of rumblings of people even saying that Dominik is a better heel than Roman. But, I don't even want to entertain that kind of a mindset right now. This is big for Dominik, and I think we all know this. So if Dominik actually does get the win over Cody on Money in the Bank, that's a big deal for him. And again, Cody just has to go through that adversity to try to get back to a world championship opportunity, whether that be against Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. I think it honestly has to be Roman, but you know, it is what it is at this point. I have Dominik beating Cody. I really do. I really do have Dominik beating Cody, and I know Phil being the Cody Rhodes big fanboy has Dominik beating Cody. I listen. It's shocking. It's shocking myself as well that I'm actually even contemplating that. But a win means more for Dominik than it would mean for Cody. And at the end of it all, of this, man, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth having Cody beat Dominik when Dominik is trying to, get to the upper echelon of talent within the company. So it wasn't as egregious as I thought it was probably going to be, but at the end of the day, it was what it was, and it wasn't all that bad. So we then got into our first matchup of the night, which was Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Ricochet. And this was not bad at all. Shinsuke and Ricochet. Wow. They killed it. They killed it tonight. Um, you know, they're both on their feet and they're exchanging some strikes. Ricochet takes Nakamura down with a handspring back elbow, followed by a standing shooting star press for a very close near fall. Ricochet then goes for a springboard moonsault off the second rope, but Nakamura gets his knees up. Nakamura hits a front suplex and vicious knees to the ribs at least 3 times, proving why he is called the King of Strong Style. Nakamura then stomps on the ribs, pulls him onto his feet, and hits him with another knee strike. Nakamura then turns him inside out with a suplex into an exploder. Ricochet then somehow avoids a Kinshasa and hits a recoil for a very, very close near fall. Ricochet is stunned at this point. Ricochet sets Nakamura up to go to the top rope for a shooting star press, but his ribs are in pain. Nakamura then takes him off the turnbuckle, lays him on top of the top turnbuckle, and does a knee to the midsection. Ricochet then hits a backflip drop kick, and soon after that, he does a standing slice of bread. And Ricochet goes to the top rope, points to the Money in the Bank briefcases, and connects with a picture-perfect shooting star press and gets the win. And Ricochet, he got the win here tonight. He points to the Money in the Bank briefcase. Nakamura is sitting in the corner with the scowl on his face and shouts that this is not over. And these two will meet in the Money in the Bank ladder match this Saturday on pay-per-view. This was awesome. This was just an awesome showcase for both men as they head to Money in the Bank. Who is going to get momentum heading into Money in the Bank? Thought this was really cool. This whole dynamic between Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bronson Reed, because Bronson Reed was at commentary tonight, or was just sitting next to the commentary table. This whole, dynamic between these three has been absolutely fantastic to witness on WWE programming. I mean, we've seen, a mismatch of these three going at it over the last few weeks. Shinsuke has faced Bronson. Shinsuke just faced Nakamura tonight. Shinsuke has faced Ricochet tonight. Ricochet has faced Bronson, and vice versa. I mean, we've seen a mismatch of these matchups here tonight, and over the last few weeks. heading into Money in the Bank with these three involved from Monday Night Raw. And I think it's honestly been a very good way to go about it. Because these three have really, these three are really what it's all about. Three people that have not gotten a world championship opportunity yet. None of these people have won a world championship within WWE. And, they're going to get their first shot at winning their first ever world championship in WWE. Whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's a very, very awesome way to go about Money in the Bank this year. None of these guys are former world champions. So the fact that you're going to be getting your first ever world championship, if you do win, and cash in on the world championship and you win that world championship, that's an awesome way to go about it. I love it. Good stuff there, and I'm actually very glad that it went out to be this way. Now, people say that there's not really that much star power in this match. I personally disagree, but at the end of the day, that's just the way I feel about it. Logan Paul is in this. Obviously, Logan Paul adds that star power that people say was missing, but at the end of the day, this is awesome. And we'll see what happens at Money in the Bank this Saturday. Who do you guys got winning Money in the Bank? Let me know in the comments. And, we'll see what happens at Money in the Bank. So replays are shown of Matt Riddle defeating Ludwig Kaiser last week on Monday Night Raw. After the match, WWE's Intercontinental Champion Gunther viciously attacked Riddle's leg, and his ankle is all taped up, and it's all battered and bruised. Earlier today, Matt Riddle issued a challenge to Gunther for an Intercontinental Championship match at Money in the Bank, and that was made official tonight. So we will have Gunther taking on Riddle for the Intercontinental Championship, or really the other way around. The Intercontinental title will be on the line at Money in the Bank. Awesome stuff. Awesome. So Byron Saxton is backstage with Matt Riddle. Saxton asks if it's wise to challenge Gunther after what Imperium did to his ankle. Ludwig Kaiser comes up and is upset that Riddle is even challenging the ring general to the Intercontinental Championship. Last week, they issued a measure of revenge for what Riddle did to Giovanni Vinci a few weeks back. Riddle says that he beat Kaiser last week, which Kaiser says that he will never happen again. Riddle attacks Kaiser and applies a boot from out of nowhere. Kaiser holds Riddle down, and Gunther shouts, "Riddle, challenge accepted." Gunther then stomps Riddle's injured ankle, and that is how that segment went off the air. We come back from commercial break, and we see WWE official Adam Pearce on his phone backstage, and Dominik and Rhea Ripley walk in. Mysterio says that he was embarrassed by Cody, but he wants a match tonight to prove that he is an aggressive type of superstar. Pearce says, "That's a good idea. Do you guys got in mind?" Mysterio says, "I know the perfect person to go up against." But Ripley whispered in Mysterio's ear and told him that we'll get back to you on that. And then they left. So I was like, all right, they're gonna do something stupid. They were gonna do something stupid, and I knew that they were, and they definitely did. But yeah, this was what it was. So yeah, we then, after everything, when it came down to that, we then had we would have the women's tag team champion Ronda Rousey take on Raquel Rodrigues. But before that, we saw, the replays of everything going down when it comes to on Friday Night SmackDown when when Rousey and Baszler became the unified WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Raquel Rodrigues, who is out there for commentary, said that we are gonna get a rematch for the titles that we never lost. Shayna said, "Who's we?" And Liv Morgan showed back up, and she is now back on WWE television. So that prompted this match for tonight. Raquel Rodrigues taking on Ronda Rousey with their tag team partners respectively in their corners. And this was short. I really didn't care much about this. And we will get those women's tag team titles on the line on Saturday at Money in the Bank in London. So bell rings and they lock up. Rodrigues immediately shoves Rousey down. Rousey then avoids a big boot and kicks her. Rousey goes for the judo throw, but Rodrigues won't leave her feet. Rousey then applies the guillotine, but Rodrigues powers into a vertical suplex. Rodrigues then does an avalanche in the corner and applies an armbar while hanging over the top rope. Rousey lifts Rodrigues, but Rodrigues slides off the shoulder and tackles her down. Rodrigues then lifts Rousey and charges, but Rousey slides off. Rousey then takes Rodrigues down and applies an ankle lock. Rodrigues then turns that, kicks Rousey away. Rousey then goes to the trademark armbar takedown, but Rodrigues holds her up and hits her with a slam. Rodrigues then avalanches Rousey into the corner and hits a fall-away slam. Then she goes for a slingshot elbow, but Baszler rolled Rousey out of the way. Liv Morgan then tackles Baszler at ringside and punches away at her. In the ring, Rousey then takes Rodrigues down and pins her for the win. 1, 2, 3. And that was it. So Rousey picked up the win, and it was just a rushed match featuring women's tag team champion Ronda Rousey. It was very sloppy. It wasn't really anything too important. I don't give a shit about Ronda, and nobody. I like Liv. I like, but Rousey, I could give two shits about. She's just not interesting at all. So we then see Finn Balor, and Finn Balor is shown in an unspecified location. Balor says that Seth freaking Rollins has been looked at as the guy to beat him 7 years ago. That guy's gone. He's dead. This guy is much worse. Rollins told him that Balor got better while he got bitter. Balor told Rollins that he got better while Finn got bitter. And, Balor says that they need to go back in time. Because at SummerSlam 2016, Rollins ripped Balor's shoulder up, but he still beat Seth Rollins. Balor could hardly raise his arm and lift the title up at that time when he was the first ever Universal Champion for a good 22 hours. He was forced to relinquish the championship. That's not where the problem lies. At the lowest point, Rollins walked out and laughed at him. Rollins rubbed salt in the wounds, and that's something that he can never forget. Balor didn't get bitter. Rollins made him that way. The bitterness is all he has, while Rollins has it all. The people worship and the ground that Rollins walks on, and they love his ridiculous outfits and his stupid song. None of that matters to him. At at this point in time, all that matters is vengeance and the World's Heavyweight Championship. At Money in the Bank, after 7 long years, and all that Rollins took away from him, he is taking it all back. Balor will become the new World Heavyweight Champion at Money in the Bank, and that will be bitter. That will be a bitter, bitter pill for Rollins to swallow that night at Money in the Bank. Balor's great on the mic, man. I don't know what you really want me to say. These backstage segments with Finn Balor have been absolutely fantastic, especially in that dark, dark room that they've been doing them in as of late. Awesome stuff. Balor is great, and I can't wait to see what they do at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight title. It's going to be awesome to see. So, speaking of Rollins, he is sauntering backstage, and we'll hear from him next on Monday Night Raw. So, we come back from commercial break, and we have Seth Rollins coming out to the ring. He makes his way to the ring to a big ovation from the crowd in Savannah, Georgia. The crowd loudly sings his song, and Rollins stands in the ring just to listen to the praises of the crowd in Savannah, Georgia. Rollins shouts to Savannah, Georgia. Rollins welcomes them to Monday Night Rollins. And Rollins points out that the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes is at ringside tonight. At NXT, an NXT champ picks up, which is awesome that the crowd of Savannah, Georgia did an NXT chant. Because usually the main roster crowd, very different than the NXT crowd. That was awesome to see. Rollins says he doesn't normally do this, but Hayes had his back on Tuesday, so he will have his, and he thanked him for that. They've got a lot in common, other than just being two of the finest dudes in the room. They are both fighting champions. Hayes has a title defense tomorrow on NXT television, as he will be facing Baron Corbin. And Rollins says to whoop that bum-ass Corbin on NXT. Millen says that he doesn't miss. And as for Rollins, this Saturday, he will have the one-on-one match against Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title. A couple of weeks ago, he posed a question which Balor was going to show up at Money in the Bank. Last week, he got that answer in spades. Balor jumped him not once, but he followed him to NXT to try to turn his ribs into dust. Rollins then says he's still standing. Money in the Bank is this Saturday. Rollins is tired of talking, so he challenges Balor to come out here to finish this right now. Balor doesn't answer that challenge, or as of yet. The crowd begins to sing as they await the arrival of Finn Balor. Balor then never shows up. Rollins then shakes his head. Rollins says that Balor isn't coming out here right now. The crowd boos. Rollins says that he has to hand it to Finn. He is the smartest and most dangerous he has ever been. Balor has surrounded himself with the right people, and Balor will hide in the back and trick himself into believing that he is going to get revenge of what happened 7.5 years ago. Is Rollins 100%? No. Will Rollins be 100% on Saturday for Money in the Bank? No. As good as Finn Balor is, there's only one thing that he has not accounted for, and that's Seth frickin' Rollins. When the bell rings, the best version of Finn Balor is not as good as the best version of Seth frickin' Rollins. That's the bitter pill that Balor will have to swallow. Rollins is the visionary. Rollins is a revolutionary. He is. Then Finn Balor comes out of nowhere and attacks Seth freaking Rollins with a steel chair. But Rollins kicks him and takes him down. Balor then quickly catches him with a shot to the injured ribs and grabs the steel chair. Rollins then takes him to the corner of the steel steps. He then pushes him into the ringside table. And then, when he was about to grab the steel chair from the timekeeper's area, Carmelo Hayes took it away from Finn Balor. Rollins then clotheslines Balor over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Balor then quickly ran away, and Rollins is bleeding on the side of his left eye, on his cheek, and so something happened there. But at the end of the day, that was a very, very cool segment, and it got Carmelo Hayes involved, which is awesome to see. So we were hearing the rumors that Carmelo Hayes would be involved on Monday Night Raw tonight. We didn't know if it was actually going to be in a match or in a segment. It turned out to be a segment and a match because we all know Carmelo Hayes would face Finn Balor later on in the night. So that was awesome for Carmelo. It really was, and I love that WWE got him to be a part of Monday Night Raw tonight. We'll talk about that match, though, because the match is good. I just don't like the way that they kind of did the finish, and I'll tell you guys more about that in a few seconds. So, earlier today, Byron Saxton caught up with Tommaso Ciampa, who returned last week on Monday Night Raw. Ciampa says that people are probably wondering why he attacked The Miz the way he did. When he was out for months rehabbing from hip surgery, The Miz never reached out to him. No call, no text. He was out for the last 9 months, and he hasn't heard one peep from Mr. Tiny Balls. People warned him about The Miz. They said that he would usher him, use him as a manipulator. This injury was a blessing in disguise at times, from what he said. And for 275 days, it was a long time for a guy to be left alone with his own thoughts. It gives you clarity. Why was Tommaso Ciampa wearing neon green and playing second fiddle to The Miz? This time around, he'll create his own opportunities. And listen, I'm so glad that the WWE went about it in that way, because him being with The Miz never fit. It didn't fit. It wasn't right. We all know this. And if you thought that this was a good idea for him when he was with The Miz, you're fucking lying. You're lying to yourself. Because you know for a fact, especially if any of you guys seen him in NXT, that was not the right way to go about Tommaso Ciampa at all. Yes, is The Miz, serviceable for what he is doing right now in WWE? Yes. But the man should have never been paired up with The Miz, and I'll stand by that on all 10 of my toes. Dude, should have never been paired up with The Miz, and that, dude, it honestly hurt Tommaso Ciampa more than it helped him. It really did. It hurt him more than it helped him. Miz is not what he is. What he used to be, I should say. Miz is not what he used to be. And a lot of you guys are probably going to have me have heat for that. But you know what? I don't care. Miz is not what he used to be. And if you think he is, then you're just not watching the WWE product right now. You're not. So we were going to have this match again, Tommaso Ciampa take on The Miz, but the match actually didn't happen. As Tommaso Ciampa was making his way to the ring, The Miz attacked him from behind onto the ramp. Miz sends him into the barricade twice before whipping him into the LED apron. Miz then, slings Ciampa's ankle into the LED apron twice before kicking him in the head. A tiny ball's champ breaks up uh, and Miz hits a suplex onto the barricade with Ciampa's ankle connecting hard. Miz then mocks Ciampa, pat on the back taunt that he does, and he punches away at him again, and Miz looks to Ciampa and hits a skull crushing finale on the floor. Miz says that Ciampa wanted the opportunity, then he's giving him one. That is it. And then Miz walked off. What's going on, Joey? How are you, my man? So yeah, I mean we're having this feud with the Miz for Ciampa. It makes sense. Obviously having this feud between Miz and Ciampa makes sense. I just hope that after this, we can move on to something a little bit more productive, and that way we could possibly be seeing DIY versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at SummerSlam for the Unified Tag Titles. Maybe. I mean, that's what I would do at SummerSlam. So get that going for SummerSlam, and you're good to go. So we then have the Intercontinental Champion Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. They're backstage talking about Matt Riddle, I should say. The Unified Tag Team Champions, Sami and KO, walk into frame. Imperium isn't happy for them interrupting them for no reason, and Zayn says, "Oh, well, would you look at that? It's not really all, like, you're not really all that happy." Did you see what happened between Cody and Dominik? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I thought it was a very well thought out segment at the beginning of the show tonight. I thought it really wasn't all that bad. So Zayn says that they've done that to them for weeks now, just interrupting them when they were talking, and Owens isn't sure why they're mad at Imperium since he doesn't care about Riddle. Zayn says that Riddle is their friend and that they do care. Owens then shouts at Imperium on behalf of Riddle, saying, "Why would you ever do that to Riddle?" And Kaiser says Gunther beat Owens, but Zayn says it took all three of them in order to do it. Zayn then says that at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, so why don't we do Gunther versus Zayn 1-on-1 tonight? And Gunther agrees, and Owens and Zayn walk off. So there you go. We then had Dominik's match, and it was against Akira Tozawa. I mean, come on. Here. So the bell rings, and Mysterio immediately takes down Tozawa, stomps away at him. Mysterio then taunts the crowd, and they loudly boo him. Mysterio then punches Tozawa, but Tozawa begins to fight back. Mysterio then quickly knees him in the midsection and slams him down. Tozawa then reverses a whip into a Hurricane Rana. Tozawa then connects with a Shining Wizard out of nowhere, and Ripley looks nervous at ringside. Tozawa then goes for a top rope maneuver and hits a flying back elbow. Mysterio then rolls out of the ring to recover. Tozawa then hits the ropes and sends himself over the top with a missile for an incredible looking suicide dive. It did look really good. It really did look like an awesome suicide dive by Tozawa. Tozawa then gets Mysterio into the ring, and he is distracted by Rhea Ripley, who wouldn't be, and Dominik took advantage, and he knocked him off the top rope. Mysterio then goes to the top rope himself, crushes Tazam with a frog splash and gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Dominik and Rhea Ripley celebrate in the ring, and it was just a good, quick enhancement match for Dominik Mysterio to get himself some more heat. There you go. I mean, what else is new? The Viking Raiders and Valhalla were shown backstage. They vowed to take out the Alpha Academy, and Valhalla says that will be beautiful. WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus is making her way to the ring with Zoe Stark as they will begin the Money in the Bank Summit next. And, this... in some ways this was good, in some ways this was bad. I hate Trish Stratus on the mic. I do. I love Trish Stratus overall as a whole. Trish Stratus, I can look at her every single day, but man, has she been a terrible heel. And I cannot get behind her as a heel. I really can't. But that's just me. I might be a little bit in the minority of that, but it is what it is. The summit wasn't all bad though. Ladders are set up in the ring, and Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Bayley, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch are all in the ring. Corey Graves starts the introductions, explaining what Money in the Bank is. Bayley then interrupts and says, "Listen, dude, we already know how this works. They're not idiots. Well, the people in Savannah maybe are, but the people that are in the ring aren't idiots." Bayley then already won a Money in the Bank ladder match in the past, so she definitely knows what it takes to win this match. And Sky interrupts her and says, "May the best woman win." Zelina says that she is tired of damage control, dismissing everybody else in this match. Yeah, Becky Lynch, someone who Vega respects. Lynch has done it all except for winning Money in the Bank. Vega then points to Zoe, who is a groupie, and then she points to Trish Stratus, who is a legend, and that's never been in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Stratus has no idea what it takes to win something like this. Whether they like it or not, she is also in this match, she being Zelina Vega, and she will be the future Miss Money in the Bank. Bayley laughs, and Vega shouts at her. Vega says that she'll prove them all wrong when her and Santos climb the ladders and bring the briefcases home to the LWO. Bayley says that Vega is an idiot. They start shouting at one another. Zoe Starks then tries to calm them down. Stratus says that, "Listen, it's very clear why you guys needed me to save this women's division. Because you guys are just little girls at this point. I am a woman. And, Vega, you are right. I haven't been in a Money in the Bank ladder match before in my career, but winning is what I do, and I plan to do that this Saturday. When I make history on Saturday and win Money in the Bank, they can all thank her for letting them be a part of that historic moment." As for Lynch, an loud Becky Lynch chant breaks out. Stratus says that she can't call Lynch a little girl or a woman because, well, she's a man or whatever, because of the man moniker. But when it is all said and done, will she be man enough to say, "Thank you, Trish"? Becky Lynch then walks up to Trish Stratus and punches her right into the face. A brawl breaks out between all 6 competitors, and Stratus and Starks concentrate on Lynch while Damage Control attack Vega. Lynch gets Stratus and Stark out of the ring. The ring is soon cleared, and Sky hits all the competitors with the springboard moonsault to the floor. Lynch is the only person in the ring, climbs a ladder, and retrieves the white Money in the Bank briefcase for the women. And WWE, Laurel dictates that she's not winning Money in the Bank because she touched that briefcase. And I really hope she doesn't. I really hope she doesn't. Becky Lynch has been so sour on me since the big time Bex character. She does not need Money in the Bank at all. And I really don't care if anybody catches wind of this. I really don't care if anybody really disagrees with this. Becky Lynch does not need to be Miss Money in the Bank. She doesn't need to be a part of it. She doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. She's a big enough superstar already. We don't need a superstar like Becky Lynch to win Money in the Bank and take that opportunity from somebody like a Zelina Vega, like an Io Sky, like a Zoe Stark. It doesn't need to happen. This Money in the Bank ladder match is stacked, and I absolutely love that it is stacked for the women this year. I do. But you don't need to have Becky Lynch win the Money in the Bank. It's plain and simple. But this was not bad. This was not a bad segment. The only bad part about this segment was honestly Trish Stratus and the way that she just talks on the mic. She's just not a good talker on the mic anymore. And again, might be in the minority of that, but I'm not liking this heel run for Trish Stratus. I mean, yes, it's good in some parts, but when it comes to her talking on the mic, not good at all. And I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's just because she hasn't been doing this for a long time since, coming back to WWE. But at the end of the day, she's just not a good talker on the mic. And maybe she's always been like that for her career. And I just really never noticed that. But in this stage of her career, definitely not a good talker on the mic. And she definitely should not be a heel. But we'll see. We'll see what happens at Money in the Bank, though. This was not as terrible as I thought it definitely would have been. Short, sweet, to the point. Good stuff there, and hopefully Becky Lynch does not win Money in the Bank. Kathy Kelly is backstage with the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes as he is preparing for his first ever Monday Night Raw match, and he's going up against Finn Balor. He says that the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins invited him here tonight on the show, and Rollins is somebody that he aspires to be like. Hayes is going to take care of the Balor problem tonight, and if he has to go out in a blaze of glory to settle this, he will, and he'll settle his business tomorrow against Corbin on NXT. You have to take shots to make shots, and tonight, Melo won't miss. Then we had the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, and he will have this match against Sami Zayn, and this was good. This was really good here too, man. Like the fact that we are actually having some good in-ring competition tonight on Monday Night Raw was awesome, because we really don't get that much nowadays. We usually either get 2-minute matches, or it's honestly like 2 to 7 minute matches. But we actually had some good in-ring competition here tonight, and this was awesome to see. But before we had that, Becky Lynch was walking backstage, and she bumps into Rhea Ripley. Ripley says that Lynch better not hope that she doesn't win Money in the Bank, because if you ever try to cash in on her, it'll be the last thing that she will ever do in WWE. Lynch says that when she had the title, it was defended in every town in the main event. Ripley is in the main event side piece right now. Ripley sneers, and Lynch says that the title needs her. She doesn't need the title. Lynch just wants to see Ripley squirm and lose that Raw Women's Championship. or the WWE Women's World Championship. So then we had this match between the Intercontinental Champion Gunther and Sami Zayn. Not bad here. Not bad here at all. Um, you know, just a very, very nice matchup here between two champions within the company. The crowd cheers for Zayn. Zayn goes to the top rope and leaps off, but Gunther chops him in midair. What fucking brutal. Gunther then picks up a near fall because of that. Gunther is shot and he drops to a knee. Gunther then goes to the top rope and hits a flying splash for a very close near fall. Ludwig then jumps onto the ring apron to distract the referee, so Owens gets up from the commentary table and attacks him from behind. Owens then just takes down Kaiser, and Zayn takes Gunther down with a somersault senton and goes for the Intercontinental Champion in the ring. Zayn then hits Gunther with an exploder suplex in the corner, and Zayn goes to the corner and set up a Halifa kick, but Kaiser distracts the referee, and Vinci hits Zayn in the throat with one of his crutches. Giovanni Vinci is back, and he hit him with his crutch tonight on Raw. Gunther then quickly powerbombs Zayn for the win, and Gunther picked up the win on Monday Night Raw. Imperium then poses in the ring, but Owens attacks all of them from behind. Vinci then is at ringside still, and Riddle, his music hits, and he angrily hobbles down to the ring because of his injured ankle, and Riddle takes down Vinci with his injured leg, and he used a crutch against him. Riddle then gets into the ring, and he hits Kaiser and Gunther with the crutch. Owens hits Kaiser with a stunner to knock him outside the ring, and Imperium is sent retreating. Owens, Zayn, and Riddle stand tall in the middle of the ring. So good stuff there, honestly. The match was very good between Sami Zayn and Gunther, and Riddle. He came out there to even the odds against Imperium, and it sets up his stuff between him and Gunther at Money in the Bank for the Intercontinental title. You really can't complain about what's really happening here on this show, because everything has been making sense throughout this show, except for what happened next. Balor makes his way to the ring as he will be facing the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes next on Monday Night Raw. And after a commercial break, we saw Alpha Academy in the backstage exercising. Chad Gable says that the Viking Raiders are savages and idiots, and they're doubting his coaching abilities. Maxine says that she may not have had her first matchup yet on Monday Night Raw, but every single time that Witch of Valhalla stands up to her, she has, she has gotten the better of her. Gable says, I like that confidence. Gable says, I'm making her more confident. I'm making him, pointing to Otis, into a faster human being. And he asks Otis what the plan was. Otis says that the plan is pure carnage. And that's how that segment ended. So we then had Kathy Kelly in a backstage interview with Natalya. I really could care less about Natalya, and I really don't give a shit about what anybody has to say. I think Natalya is fucking boring, and she really does not interest me whatsoever. But she asked Natalya about the emotions of her going through the last few weeks, and Natalya says that she signed up for this life, and Ripley is part of that. The fear of losing is not as great as the fear of giving up. Natalya has been broken and down, but she'll still be standing and she tells Rhea Ripley to bring her title and face her woman-to-woman next week on Raw. I don't need a Natalia redemption story. This is not what anybody signed up for. When have we ever thought about getting a Natalia redemption story, or honestly, at this point in her career, like a Natalia, like who cares about this? Honestly, who really cares about this? And this is why people say that Rhea Ripley's reign as Raw Women's Champion is trash, because they are giving her, I'll say it, shit opponents. Who gives a fuck about Natalia versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Championship? I know I don't. Do you? No. No. Nobody does. But then we had this match between Finn Balor and Carmelo Hayes. And look, before I get into the breakdown, I want to break this down real quick. Because I understand what this match is trying to do, right? Obviously, this match was to get Carmelo Hayes in front of the main roster audience. And that is perfectly fine. You know, we've had that for Braun Breaker at one point, and he was doing this thing with Dolph Ziggler. And, you know, it's cool to see these NXT superstars getting onto the main roster and getting them used to the main roster audience before they get called up. That's cool. I'm not mad at that. Like I honestly think it's a very good idea to do. It's a very nice idea to have, and you know, it's getting them exposure and experience to this roster and to this crowd. But on the flip side of that, what good does it do for Carmelo Hayes losing in this match against Finn Balor when he has an NXT championship match and he is defending that championship against Baron Corbin tomorrow night on NXT? The match is good, you know? But with Carmelo Hayes losing clean in the way that he did, this match only benefited Finn Balor. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that whatsoever. I understand that losing to the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship is nothing to be ashamed of. But I don't like seeing world champions of any caliber losing on WWE TV. I don't. Like you know, it's something that I, you know, just struggle with seeing. You know, man, like world champions should not be losing on television. Period. So like that to me was just not something that I was very happy with, but I understood what they were trying to do. They're trying to get heat on Finn Balor, which it did, but it really only did that purpose. It didn't really help Carmelo Hayes in any other way other than getting him in front of the main roster audience. And you know, it was what it was. If this was a, you know, dirty type of a win for Finn Balor, fine. Because then, you know, at that point in time, if this was a dirty type of loss for Carmelo, then when he does get called up to the main roster, he would have a real reason to go back at Finn Balor because of what happened. Him losing when he has an NXT Championship title defense tomorrow on NXT doesn't really help him all that much. And that's what I'm trying to get at. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think. But the match, though, was good. It was good. And, you know, I shouldn't take that away from both men. You know, Finn Balor and Carmelo Hayes worked really, really well together. Hayes clothesline Balor in the corner and hits the ropes. Balor then comes back, turning Hayes inside out with a clothesline. Balor then stomps away at Hayes, and Hayes slowly gets up, but Balor puts him right back down with a sling blade. Balor then sets up the the shotgun dropkick, but Hayes super kicks him, and Hayes then does a springboard diving DDT for a very, very close near fall. Hayes then gets to the top rope and jumps, but Balor moves out of the way. Balor then lifts Hayes, but Hayes slides off and rolls him up for a 2 count. Balor then blocks a kick and hits a beautiful gutbuster. Then he does the shotgun drop kick, climbs to the top rope, and does a nice coup de grace for the win. And he pins the NXT champion clean on Monday Night Raw. You know, him losing clean is not the best idea. But, you know, it just it didn't feel right. It did not feel right having him lose honestly that quick and in the way that it happened. But you know, he's having this NXT championship title defense tomorrow. Who knows what can happen? Who knows what can happen? But at the end of the day, really only seemed to help Finn Balor. And it was a very odd, decision to have that happen. Then we see the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes backstage, and this was probably one of the best parts of the night because we got to see his dog Pharaoh. Pharaoh was backstage with Cody Rhodes. Obviously, as we all know, Pharaoh is Cody Rhodes' dog, his husky. And Kathy Kelly asked about Damian Priest. Rhodes says, "You know what, man? Like, I'm very happy that we get to have these conversations, but I can't wait to not talk about the Judgment Day." Rose says that Priest is walking into Money in the Bank with bruises on his body and his ego. As for Dominik Mysterio, he wishes that he could be in the crowd with the WWE Universe just to boo him as well. At Money in the Bank, Mysterio won't have Finn Balor, Damian Priest, or Rhea Ripley. We'll see what he has one-on-one. And then he told Pharaoh to get up, and they walked off. So I don't know if Cody just brought him back to the bus with Brandy or whatever, but yeah, he just walked off, and because the match was next. The match was his match against Damian Priest was next. But we come back from commercial break, and we see the Bloodline Civil War thing that was happening as of this past Friday on SmackDown. The Undisputed Universal Champion Roman will be at Friday Night SmackDown this week. And the commentators run down the rest of the card that will be taking place on Saturday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we had Wrestling Has More Than One Royal Family, and it was time for the main event. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes taking on Damian Priest. And this was a good match. This is a very good match. So, we're coming back from a commercial break in this match, and we see a Dom Dom sucks chance fire up. Priest then fights out of a crossroads attempt, and Rhodes connects with a pedigree. Rhodes then crawls over Priest, but Priest rolls out of the ring. Rhodes then goes to the top rope and jumps over Priest as he gets into the ring. Priest then hits a big super kick for a near fall, and Priest chops Rhodes and charges him, but Rhodes super kicks him. Ripley then distracts the referee. Mysterio thwarts a Cody Cutter attempt, and Priest hits Cody Rhodes with a South of Heaven for a very, very close near fall. Ripley and Mysterio then flip out in frustration at ringside because Cody Rhodes kicked out of that move, and Mysterio gets to the ring apron and yells at the referee. Rhodes then gets a crucifix powerbomb attempt and sends Priest into Mysterio. Rhodes then hits Priest with a Cody Cutter, and then he followed it up with the Crossroads for the win. And that is it. Cody Rhodes picks up a win ahead of Money in the Bank. As Cody Rhodes celebrates in the ring, Dominik Mysterio attacks him from behind with a forearm to the back of the head, and Mysterio shouts, "I'll see you at Money in the Bank." Rhodes is irate and shows as the show goes off the air. And it was a fun main event. It was a fun main event for Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. He's definitely probably going to be turning babyface soon. And I mean Damian Priest. It just seems like that's WWE. It's just the way the WWE is heading in right now. And that's Vince for you. Honestly, that's a Vince decision right there. And I'm telling you right now that is a Vince decision, mainly because of the fact that WWE is splitting up the Judgment Day way too soon. We haven't even reached the peak of what the Judgment Day can do as a stable, and WWE is already entertaining the idea of having Damian Priest turn babyface and lead the Judgment Day. And that's not a good man, and that's not a good move. It's just not a good move, I mean, Damian Priest has been losing constantly as of late. I mean, he has a lot of momentum going on with him because of like the hot months that he's had in WWE as of late, but he has been losing a ton. And anybody that really loses a ton in a stable and has been getting frustrated with things going on within that stable as of late usually just turns babyface. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the Judgment Day, because the Judgment Day is so. The Judgment Day run Monday Night Raw, and the Bloodline run Friday Night SmackDown. Or, the Bloodline is, no more, but they used to run Friday Night SmackDown. That's what the dynamic was for WWE. Judgment Day Raw, Bloodline SmackDown, and that's what it was. But now, Damian Priest is leaving the Judgment Day, it seems like. It's not the best move, and the Judgment Day won't be the same without Damian Priest. It just won't be. But overall, this was a good Raw. This was a good Raw. You really couldn't complain about most of this show. It's just at some points within the show, it didn't feel like a go-home show to Money in the Bank. And I know that might be a little bit in the minority, but it was a very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw. This wasn't really all that bad. And, McMahon did have his fingerprints on this show. You can totally tell that he did. But there, even in the parts that he did have his fingerprints on, it wasn't all that bad, So I mean, I don't think you can really complain about anything that happened here. But with that being said, we'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown on Friday, because that show has been going downhill dramatically as of late. And I don't know why, because usually SmackDown is usually the better show out of the two, but this Monday Night Raw turned out to be very solid. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and we'll get through the week as we head to Money in the Bank, and it's something that we're gonna be heading into for Money in the Bank. Thank you guys so much for joining us right here on the Monday Night Raw post show. if you guys have anything else you want to say before I get the hell out of here, if you guys want to send in a super chat or join the channel today, get in your super chats within the next 5 minutes, or honestly within the next 10 minutes. If you guys have anything within the next 10 minutes to say about Monday Night Raw, send in your super chats. I'll read them at the end of the show and answer any questions that you may have. And if you guys aren't a member of the channel, join the channel today. Become a part of the OTB family, and you guys will get a Discord chat. You guys will get a Discord server link, and yeah, you guys can join the official OTB Discord. So if you guys aren't a member of the channel, join the channel today. Become a part of the OTB fam. And if you guys have anything else to say in terms of Monday Night Raw, send in a super chat, and I'll read it out to you guys right here on OTB. So I'll stay here for the next 9 minutes, and we'll talk Monday Night Raw if you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about before I end the stream. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I didn't even mean to do the whole Cody Rhodes line. I did not mean to do the Cody Rhodes line. You guys can't even boo me on that one. But yeah, I'll stay here for the next 10 minutes if you guys want to send in some questions about the show tonight, or it doesn't even have to be about tonight. You guys can talk about Forbidden Door. You guys can ask questions about Forbidden Door, or basically anything. Ask me anything, guys, and we'll be here for the next 10 minutes, or well, 8 minutes. Trying to end this at 1. We'll try to end this at 1 here. If you guys aren't gonna send any questions, then I'll just end it real quick. But but I do want to see if any of you guys have any questions before I get the hell out of here. That way I can answer all your questions before I do. And if not, I'll just end it and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Forbidden Door post show. I don't want to have dead air. So I don't think really anybody has any questions for me tonight, which is fine. But I do thank you guys for joining me tonight on the Monday Night Raw post show. It was very fun talking about Monday Night Raw with you guys tonight. We are so close to Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year, and it's gonna be fun. But and at the end of the day, guys, that was your Monday Night Raw post show. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys have been showing on the channel as of late. Follow me on social media. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. Follow me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at @PhilMatt_. Go get the merch at Teespring, the official home of OTB and its merchandise. Go get my merchandise and Lob's merch down there in the description below. Go get your go get anything from WWE Shop today using the official affiliate link. Any commission that I get from that link will will be put back into the channel. That way, we just produce the best shows for you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Forbidden Door post show right here on OTB. And until then, guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. Peace.